Good evening. The Toronto Raptors lose by 10 points to the Orlando Magic, 103, 113. I definitely have some Raptors notes for this game. I'm here with the Penguins today, just checking things out. But I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different for this. We'll talk Raptors stuff, but for me, this was more of a evaluation on the Orlando Magic, who are in the middle of a bloodbath playoff race with a bunch of teams. They're definitely incentivized to win right now. My fuck. This team, like, you listen to these NBA podcasts, and I'd say the Magic are the team that comes up maybe the most frequently about, like, the disrespected, we need to pay attention to these guys, like, they're going to be in the playoffs, such a great team, Paolo Banchero, such an amazing talent. The Raptors have no Scotty, no Jakob, no RJ, and also, of course, I guess I don't do prayers, but thoughts and feelings to RJ's family, obviously. Pretty incredible that he was able to play so well through all of that. That's really something. But yeah, it's tough. But yeah, the Raptors are without 3 of their 5 starters, and you have a healthy Magic team in a playoff race, and you're letting Jamias Ramsey almost outscore Paolo Banchero outscored Jamias Ramsey by 7 points. He outscored Jordan Nwora by 3 points. This man went 5 for 15. I was kind of sick watching it. I didn't feel good. I just feel like I've been lied to or manipulated or something. I saw Jalen Suggs, who they say players don't want to play in Toronto. Every time this man plays the Raptors, he goes kind of crazy. He toned it down a little bit today, but I mean, in past games, he's just gone absolutely nuts, lost his mind. Obviously, like some kind of revenge thing. But he had an incredible play. I've never seen this in the NBA before. He got, it was in the fourth quarter, could be a future video. He got a pass, and he took a 3, made the 3, but I've never seen somebody hesitate to take the 3 that much, to be like, am I doing this? And then to talk shit immediately after. It was, again, I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen that in the NBA before. Like, someone's so afraid to shoot the ball and then in a second go into a completely different personality type, running up and down the floor, jumping up and down, screaming because you're up 5 points on Jamias Ramsey and Jordan Nwora. Have fun in the playoffs. There's better players than Gary Trent Jr. who dropped 30 tonight on you. 7 for 10 from 3. Wide open on a lot of them. Is that not in your scouting report? New coach just got a 4-year deal. They're all saying he's the best coach in the world. He does jiu-jitsu or something with like Joe Mazzulla. Yeah, we're just gonna leave Gary absolutely wide open. We're gonna let the Raptors potentially get back into this game. Gary's gonna go. What did Gary do tonight? 7 for 11 from 3, 10 for 7, 31 points for Gary. And yeah, when I know playoffs are kind of a foreign thing, but when you're in the playoffs, I've never played in the playoffs before. But if you're going to be watching the Orlando Magic play in the playoffs, the downside is there are much more tactically sound, better scoring, better players than Gary Trent Jr., and he absolutely cooked them tonight. Like, I think even if the Raptors had Chris Boucher, they could have won this game. Like, and this wasn't like the Magic won by 10, but this wasn't one of those things where like they had a comfortable, like it didn't ever feel comfortable for them. And their offense really, really grinds to a halt. But it was more, I didn't think the defense was like all that amazing. I thought the Raptors role players, like Jamias Ramsey, I haven't seen anything from him. He had the windmill dunk. Haven't seen a single thing from him tonight. He gets you 10 points. Bruce Brown, don't really. I mean, 12 points, whatever. Jordan Nwora, 14 points. Like, you kind of let people eat that, but you got the W, so that's all that matters. Kind of right in that zone with the Sixers now, who it would be so funny if they become a play-in team. But yeah, the Raptors season at this point, like we know what it is. People who watch this team, so this is kind of an opportunity to take a look at these other teams. We had Matt Devlin with a great "Here Come the Raptors." It was a 16-point game. Getting a lot of those. I don't know if he's got the memo that the team's tanking. He's obviously the last guy who would acknowledge that or support that idea. I definitely see Devlin as like a Tony Robbins guy, minus the new RFK storyline, plotline. Back to the Raptors, like JFL. I guess is he not really in the picture anymore? He really played like Malachi during his little stint here. I mean, he didn't do anything memorable at all. He was so passive. His handle is just, it's so broken. It's just like, and so you've got, am I saying his name right? Jamias Ramsey. It's almost like a J'Anthony Williamson a little bit. There's the apostrophe halfway through. I haven't heard of him before. It's going to take me a little bit to get it, but he's at different positions, but I think you've had a bunch of guys leapfrog McDaniels. We didn't see him tonight, so I don't know if because we had that Pelicans game with McDaniels that I'm having unnamed people within Raptor circles asking for more Jalen McDaniels videos, negative videos, of course. But I think so I made a video about him in the Pelicans game, which I included some clips from the Rockets game, and then it was last game that I can't remember anymore. But he's had a few performances of just really. He was kind of effective last game in a weird way, but I think it was like the randomness of it, and I said that before on a couple of days ago, where the only times he's like really successful is when he's just so random that the other team can't really predict what's going to happen. I kind of was wondering, I think if he would have played tonight, he probably could have got like 15 or 16 points. Like, this could have been a breakout game for him. I mean, if you're on the end of the Raptors bench, if you're like just struggling to get into the league or trying to maintain whatever, you can get into this game and get 14 points pretty easily against the Orlando Magic, who have playoff aspirations for the first time in 36 years. So, it's just more of an indictment on them. Suggs talking shit there was so funny, just because how much he hesitated on that shot. Like, he was like literally fucking, his knees were shaking. There was 2 seconds left on the shot clock. He didn't have any other options. I don't know what else he was going to do. Also, I hate like comparing players. So many people have done it already. It is kind of funny that Scotty Barnes has a higher career field goal percentage than Paolo Banchero. Just saying. Anyways, yeah. Every time I watch he's from Seattle. I'm obviously Vancouver, so he can do no wrong. He even has a Mount Baker tattoo on his fucking arm. I can see that mountain from my patio. Like, I smoke weed on the patio and I look out at the mountain. I'm like, Paolo Banchero has that tattooed on his arm. Like, that's fucking cool. But at the same time, every time I tune in to watch the Magic, which I guess isn't that often, I have a bad memory too. So, I have a bad short-term memory. I'll remember this stuff in 10 years, but I don't remember what happened a few months ago. But, I don't know. Was he 5 for 15 tonight? And you want to give Abaji some credit, who he was the one guy who couldn't. I'm like, man, if there's one game where Abaji's going to get it, he got you 8 points tonight, which actually for him is quite a bit. So if you're the Magic, Abaji going 4 for 9 is that's a good career game for him, at least in a Raptor uniform. I believe he's 9 for 39 from 3 as a Raptor, so he's really struggled. And I think some of the defense on Paolo was good tonight, but then he beat Abaji a bunch of times, and just I'm just always amazed by these guys who are like 6'10", 7 feet. And a layup to them is like a mission. I don't get it. Like, you're right at the rim. Like, you're so close to it. And as a fucking short little like penguin, I could hang out with these people back here. It just like blows my mind how you can be that close to the basket and just miss that spectacularly in front of 20,000 people without shame. It's crazy. And then you've got only one Wagner tonight. I don't know where the other Wagner was, but only one Wagner. He's obviously overperformed. I don't know where's Jet Howard these days. How's Jet Howard doing? But Grady only 8 points tonight. But he had a weird, like, good defensive game from Grady. But the minus 32 is he's had a couple games, I think. I don't know, back to back, maybe not back to back, but recently, where he's been a team worst plus minus by like a 20-point margin. Obviously, single game plus minuses isn't everything, but I thought there were a couple plays today where he just like didn't have. Sometimes you're working on a video about a player, and you're like, "Hey, this is good. You know, script's good. A little clip here, a little parasite clip here, a little Seinfeld clip here," and then the player goes out in the next game and does the complete opposite of what your video's about. So that happens all the time. There's a Victor video that I need to tap back into. I was like halfway through making it, and then I forgot about it, but then I just randomly remembered it today. His toilet bowl shot against the Raptors. I still think about it sometimes. The one in overtime. I still think it's the most like impossible shot not to go in. I don't know if do people remember that? Back earlier in the year when the Raptors were beating the likes of the Minnesota Timberwolves. There was a game against Victor. He had a crazy shot in OT that toilet bowled for like 9 seconds. Mafia will reunite. Devlin also loves Banchero. I thought coming into the draft, because that year, what year was he drafted? Those few years are just like a wash for me. I'm getting more into the NCAA bullshit this year because the Raptors have like half the picks in the first round. But during the talk of that draft with Banchero, for the longest time, I thought there was a dude named Ben Caro. So I probably shouldn't even have this YouTube channel. Just that alone should probably get me blacklisted, no fly list. But yeah, it turns out that it's actually Paolo Banchero, not Ben Caro. But yeah, the touch, for me, it's the touch. It's like Abaji. It's just like, is the touch there? And I haven't watched enough to know, but I've just been so underwhelmed. And I really, like, you have no idea how Seattle is the only basketball hub within a 10,000 mile radius of me. So I am like, even Malachi from Seattle, even Jalen McDaniels. I'm like, I've even made little cute posts about Jalen McDaniels and Malachi, both being born in '98, both being from Seattle, both going to San Diego State, both playing for the Raptors. At one point, I've had the same life. You get attached to that shit for no reason. Banchero's got the Mount Baker tattoo on his arm. God damn, that's nice. 5 for 15. And a bunch of layups. Just 6'10", 2 feet from the basket, unguarded. Just existential levels of dread and awfulness. Wagner only took 9 shots tonight, 31 minutes. Aren't you a fucking weapon? Like, are you related to the original Wagner? Like, where's the Valkyries in all of this? Like, where's your fucking brother? Where's Mo? Where's Mo at? Bring Mo out. I want to see Mo. I actually really like watching Mo. He's like a white Draymond. It's just like really fucking angry and awkward at the same time. I like that guy, man. Mo Wagner. Bring Mo back, man. Where's Mo? I mean, he's probably injured or something. I don't know. Gregory, is Malachi even still in the league? Go follow me on Twitter, you fuck, Gregory. I posted about Malachi yesterday. What are you doing? Gregory. He's on the Pistons, Gregory. Trash clips. transitioning to one of the better chat members here, Trash Clips, always bringing me good stats. I'm not being sarcastic. Trash Clips, FY, after tonight's loss, the Raptors' projected final record is 29.2. Oh, they even got the decimal points. 29.2 and 52.8. Yeah, that's the tank. That's the tank in action. If you ever question the tank, if you ever for a second question the tank, just remember that Jalen McDaniels took a technical free throw and Grady Dick was on the floor. Watch a Grady Dick free throw. Every free throw he takes is the nicest free throw you've ever seen in your entire life. If anybody ever questions the tank, just send them the clip. I'll fire the clip up. Gregory, you want the clip? I'll get the clip for you too, Gregory. Gregory says, I feel like Masai will trade the picks and get more developed pieces. I mean, I can see him trading like one maybe, but I think the whole like, oh, this draft class sucks is like always overblown. That's just like the draft content people need stuff to talk about. Sam Vecini needs like content to talk about. He needs to bring on, I'm in a bit of a mood today. I don't know if you guys can tell. He needs to bring on who's some guy during the homestand sports fiasco. Big fallout from that, by the way, behind the scenes. With multiple Raptors media people, big ripple effects from the homestand sports beef. Not some people you wouldn't expect, but I guess it's a tight media community in Toronto. I'm not in Toronto, so I don't know. I'm an outsider. But yeah, some backlash on that. But I lost my train of thought. Mafia will unite. I don't think anyone wants our picks. Oh yeah, the bad draft class thing. I don't know, man. Watch some of these prospects. What is it? Cody Phillips or something? Cody, who's the guy in Colorado who has like the most, like, remember when people were tanking for Victor? Like it was like, yeah, tanking for, we're tanking our season for Victor Wembanyama. Like that sounds fucking cool. And then in the NHL, it's like, we're tanking for Connor Bedard. It just doesn't hit quite the same. Cody Williams, that's the guy. So Cody Williams, Colorado, go fucking search that up. Cody Williams highlight package. You're telling me you got a guy 6'8" with a beautiful stroke, incredible passer. You're telling me that you're not interested in Cody Williams, projected number 4 overall pick right now. I remember searching him out because I was like, that is such a boring name. No one's going to talk about him because his name is so boring, and everyone's going to focus on like Rob Dillingham because like Ham is cool. Dilling has like a nice, it sounds like Billings, Montana. You can get behind a Rob Dillingham. He's got all the mixtapes out. He's banking threes like Jamias Ramsey. He's crossing guys up. He's got the fucking sickest crossover since Allen Iverson. He's got the best mixtape since Austin Rivers. He is fucking cooking everybody. Rob Dillingham, who by the way on Tankathon right now is the Raptors do have their pick right now. This is how good the tank has gone. Portland is within reach. The Grizzlies have been passed. So maybe Dillingham is there. I don't really have really good draft takes. I wanted the Raptors to draft Cason Wallace and Julian Strawther last year. But there's a lot of, you start to research some of these guys. Reed Shepherd is I don't know how he's 9th on Tankathon's mock draft. I know Kevin O'Connor's got him first. Probably had that in the start of the season for obvious reasons, but was too afraid to put it out publicly until he fucking cooked Mississippi, which I have said over and over again. Go watch the highlight package. If you think this whole thing is a throwaway, if you're like, fuck the draft picks, this is a weak draft, they should have tanked it another year, what are they doing, this is stupid, go watch Reed Shepherd versus Mississippi and tell me you wouldn't want that fucking player on your team. I am in a mood today. I have no idea why. What's going on in the chat? Vegan Grass, watch Cooper Flagg's highlight package. They're not getting the first pick. Come on. What are we doing? Mafia will Renite. I'm watching Baylor, Iowa State. Vegan Grass deleting his message after I read it. Name a sexier couple than that. Mafia will Renite. I'm watching Baylor, Iowa State right now. Any of these teams good? Yeah, Baylor's like one of the best teams. Like Baylor, I hardly knew her. Always up there in the top. Very Catholic though, very Christian. You don't want to make those kinds of jokes that I just made to a Baylor product. Very, very. It's a Jesuit, very strict. The heart of Texas. You don't want to be making those types of jokes. They'll boycott you. That's the new thing they're boycotting now is like all these meat companies because like Tyson fired like 400 Americans, so now all the Fox News people are like, we need to boycott this company. I love how like the soy has just become so unpolitical. It's just everybody's chugging soy these days. What the fuck's going on in the chat? Vegan Grass pulling an Alex Wong. By the way, I delete half my tweets 3 seconds after I put them out. Keeps people on their toes. What was I going to say? New banter pod, by the way, today. Funny enough, Will or Alex didn't share it, but there is a new banter pod, or they didn't share it yet, I believe. It was earlier when I saw it, but there is a new March banter pod with some good Lord of the Rings banter. They guess what's going to happen in the two, or Alex guesses what's going to happen in the Two Towers. But the old Stephen LeBron radio episodes are not there anymore, so that's pretty fucking sad. Looking at the box score, Quickly was like weird game for him. Really quiet in a way, but like got you your 10 assists, but only 10 points. Only took 9 shots, kind of like Wagner. I think they both went, Wagner went 6 for 9. I kind of wish I learned how to say Dennis properly before he left. There were so many games when he was on the Raptors when I was like Dennis Schroeder. And so anytime, I think I just need to start really respecting Germans and how to say their name properly. So once again, it's Dennis Gary, 31 points. Orlando Magic, Gary Trent Jr., 31 points. Like, just looking at the Eastern Conference, how many points are you going to give? Like, is Buddy Hield even in the Eastern Conference anymore? Is he going to get like 47 on you? Like, what is going on? Sixers, Magic. Are you guys going to be are they in the play? No. But I think the play-in is it's a pretty tight race here. I guess they're out of the Magic are out of the play-in, I guess. They're more so, they're 5th seed right now, but the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is one game. If they lose 2 more games, they are in the fucking play-in. So, if you don't beat the Toronto Raptors without most of their starters, not 1 or 2 starters, the predominant amount of players in their starting lineup are not in the game, and you are 2 games out from the fucking play-in, and you do this shit. This is your team. Wow. Betsy DeVos really cooking. Jonathan Isaac really cooking. You got two Wagners. Oh my god. Gary switched to Sativa finally. That's important. It actually is, unironically. Anybody who's telling you differently is lying. Bruce Brown runs weird, says Mafia Will Renee. I don't know about that. Kelly's an indica guy. Yeah, Kelly's got the BC. BC is more of a Kush growing place. I think it's because of the temperature and elevation. I believe indicas grow better in like mountainy areas, and then sativas do better in like humid, hotter areas. I'm from BC, and I don't touch indica. It's just, to me, indica would be like, hey, we've taken all the caffeine out of this coffee. Like, do you want it? It's like, okay. It's a bad example. We've taken all the formaldehyde out of the cigarette. You still want it. We've taken, I don't know. We've taken the fun out of basketball, just like the Orlando Magic did today. What do the rebounds look like? Did they kill you with rebounds? 39 rebounds to 40 rebounds. They didn't kill you with. What did they kill? What did they get you with? I mean, the 3-pointer was good for them tonight, which I think is ironic because they're like not a good 3-point shooting team. But they were 14 for 31 from 3, 45%. Raptors similar, 41% from 3, 14 for 34. Same amount of shot attempts, 80 to 81 foul free throws 22-20. So pretty even across the board on that. Assists 25-24. Like, these are the. I'm sorry, but these are the same teams. Like, these are the same teams, and what is it? 3 out of 5. What is that? 60%? Is that right? 3 out of 5. You know how I figured that was 60%? I went 5 plus 5. I times it by 2. I went 3 times 2 is 6, and 5 times 2 is 10. 6 out of 10. Raptors. I used to have to do that in high school. Got 8% in math 8. Don't ask me to do math. Luckily, I was the point guard on the basketball team. So the coach had access to the computer system because he was the counselor, and he was like, I've told this story before, but he was like the most senior staff member at the school, and he was the basketball coach. And so instead of having to do, I think it's 2 months, might have been more than that, but like basically your entire summer doing math summer school, he like switched up my grades so that I could qualify for this like special super accelerated, because I think if you had like over 45%, because like under 50 is a fail. If you have under 45% or over 45%, I think it's like you get to go on this fast track. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks or something. It was like a joke instead of the entire summer. So I can't do math is the moral of the story. But the other moral of the story is if you play sports in high school, you are awarded certain privileges. And if you don't get those, you're allowed to riot and revolt. But yeah. Also be the point guard, because that's important. You know, they want you developing. You might have to guard Kelly Olynyk next year, which I would say that almost happened, but like it's a thought, you know, because you read about him in the newspaper all the time, and I'm getting old. You know, the South Delta leader, the Delta optimist, the Fraser Valley, because he's in the conference next to us, which is kind of funny because it's like pretty far away, Kamloops to Delta, but Fraser Valley, Thompson Okanagan are next to each other, and I believe a couple more games we would have had to play them to make it through to the provincial knockout bullshit or whatever, and they were guaranteed to win their division. So it's like whoever won the division, and we were creeping up. We didn't ultimately get there or all that close, but I think a few more games we could have been in the conversation. And because I was a starting point guard, I would have had to guard Kelly Olynyk, who was like a full foot and point, a little bit taller than me. And it's like one of the things you kind of think about after a game. You're like driving home, you know, someone else's parents is driving like 9 kids, and it's just the thought goes through your head of like, man, Kelly O, as he used to be called. That would not be a fun matchup. We used to get killed sometimes, but that one year we were randomly. Okay, I'm getting into Uncle Rico mode here. Nobody wants this. Vegan grass. Raptor almost played point guard. We had no idea. What other position would I fucking play? I'm the like size of these penguins in this. It's the only. I mean, I guess there's shorter shooting guards, but no, like I'm point guard only because of like I'm point guard by default. It's something happened when I was a very young age. They looked at me and they're like, "You're the smallest person in the world, so we're gonna give you the ball." I was like, "That's pretty cool. That's a good trade-off." The downside is, you know, it's the late 90s, early 2000s, and Reggie Miller is still only allowed to take 3 threes a game. So if you miss one, you're probably, if it's a bad miss, if it's like there's 17 seconds left in the shot clock, if it's like if I did a Bruce Brown miss, you're instantly on the bench. Like it's not even, that wouldn't even be a debate. Like if I honestly could not imagine taking a pull-up 3 in high school. Even though it's probably like, I don't have the numbers for this, but like, I don't know, probably 37, 38, maybe from 40% from 3 back then. Like I was in the 3-point contest in my high school. Fucking goes. But different era, man. You miss like 1 3, you're on the bench. You miss 2 threes, you might be, I don't know, washing the jerseys, or you might be on laundry duty. But yeah, point guard basically by default. I've played the same position in every sport. Point guard, center mid, center field. Those are the same positions. It's where you put the small person with, I don't know. TZ says R.I.P. Nathan Barrett. Yes, we did talk about that off the top. I'm not good at like eulogies or people. I'm not good with like bad news, but I did say my piece off the top, and yeah, it was really impressive that RJ was able to play through all that. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna take. I mean, it's not really over. See, that's why I'm bad at eulogies. It's never gonna like fully heal, but I don't know. The part of me is like, is there anything useful that you can even say? I mean, I feel kind of bad because I didn't like put out a statement or something, but like, what is that selfish? Like, what can I say? You know, I know. I don't know. Trash clips. Did you play libero in volleyball? I don't know what that is. I was bad at volleyball. I played volleyball. Is that the guy? Okay, let me guess who this is. It's not. Let me see if I remember the volleyball position. So there's bump, set, spike. I remember that bump. So I'd probably be the guy that bumps it because that's smaller. That's the shortest guy or shortest person, I think. Just bumping. Because I'm not spiking that thing. Like I mean, if I'm spiking a volleyball, it's from such an angle that I'm probably just gonna get like, because I'm not able to. Maybe I haven't played volleyball in a long time, but I'm just guessing. I don't think I have the hops to get up really that well. So if I spike it, I'm spiking it at an angle that someone taller than me that can get up is going to like put the ball down my throat. So I think you can set when you're shorter. I think bumping was I was a good bumper, man. I could fucking bump. Set, kind of. Because set, that's almost like a basketball touch. The set. But man, I used to fucking bump that thing, man. like my forearms would be red. Like if I was cutting myself back then, I would have been in trouble. Like that's how hard I was hitting it. Main serve receiver, they usually give that to the shortest guy. Okay. The serve receiver, that'd be the bumper, right? Because it's bump, set, spike. So if you're receiving it, I don't know. I'm just. So yeah, I just may as well go through the game quickly. Darko, instant timeout. Darko, I think it was like 30 seconds into the game. That's his favorite move, is the instant timeout. The first few times he did it, I thought it was like kind of cool, but now it's become, you could really, it's like, fuck, I forgot to make a coffee. Oh, I'll just wait 35 seconds until Darko calls the timeout. There was one play where this is my big note for quickly. It's really coming from point guard to point guard. From point guard to point guard. You don't have to kill your dribble because Gary Harris makes eye contact with you. From point guard to point guard. Grady with an alley-oop pass right after a block. So that was like two interesting. Like I was like, is Grady gonna be the point guard in this one? Because he had the alley-oop pass. Thought a couple times he dribbled it up. Jalen Suggs misses. I just have Jalen Suggs misses brutal three. So yeah, I do remember that. He was on the right wing at like 4 o'clock. Like if it's a clock at like 4 o'clock, and just so like a Fred VanVleet pull up three where it's hitting the backboard at such a high speed that I need to learn. I do know how to make this edit. I don't know why I haven't yet, but it's when the whole like screen shakes. Like it warrants Me doing that. I need to do that. It's just a little bit of motion blur, and you just, I don't know, automate some of the fucking keyframes or whatever. My editing is so bad that not a single person has ever asked me a question in the chat about video editing. That's how bad how bad my edits are. I've never had a single question about, like, it's always like, what if the Raptors signed like Russell Westbrook or something and got Phil Jackson to be the coach, and they switched to like yellow and pink jerseys? Like, what happened then? Ramsey, I don't know how he got away with that travel, but I mean, hell yeah. He got away with two of them. There was two plays where it's just like, he really kind of dragged. But I guess the NBA, they came out and said they're not calling things anymore. They're not making remember, do you guys remember earlier? Well, this goes back to last season. Start of the season last season in November, like Jordan Poole would get like 3 calls against him like a game. There was like 25 carrying calls per week, and then it just vanished. And then in this season, start of the year, there was like 9 maybe hanging on the rim techs per week, and then those have completely stopped. So it's like every year the refs come in really like hungry to like I feel like every year the refs want to have like their 96 Bull season, and they're just getting completely overhauled by the powers that be, the NBA, taking away their whistle, man. I mean, it's really sad. If you're if you're a ref head, it's a tough time for you right now, because these guys have way less of an opportunity to control their money lines. So it's tough for the community. It's sad. Whenever I think of the NBA referees, I'll just never forget them marching in the bubble. And it's like, it's cool that they marched, but it wasn't cool that it was like televised as a thing. It's like, wow, I'm really feeling, I'm really moved by all the support that we're getting here for this cause. Because the referees, Scott Foster, if you go out into society, if you want someone with real influence and pull who could really change things, it's Scott Foster. I mean, that man can fucking march. I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers, they can start up a website and they can not pay the server the $6 a year hosting fee to keep it up. But they'll still do it. What am I talking about? A lot of weird runs in this game too. Like Magic going a 7-0 run, and then Nwora hits back-to-back threes. Raptors going a 14-2 run, and then the Magic going a 14-0 run. It's just I thought the Raptors bench players, like those lineups, played pretty. I don't even know if they played well. I just think Orlando. I mean, go back to the start of this fucking show. I was almost throwing up to the Orlando Magic tonight. It was like honestly disgusting. I fully expect the Raptors to lose, but I do expect to be entertained by the other team. And wow, if that's playoff basketball that I have to watch, my fuck. Oh yeah, my favorite play for this game. This is probably a video, to be honest. So it was second quarter, around the end of the second quarter. Ochai Agbaji. Where do you even start with this guy, man? How do you even talk about Ochai Agbaji without, wow. So incredible. This is like as incredible as Jalen Suggs being like getting the ball for the 3, being like, and then running up the court like, like holy shit, man, that's crazy. But yeah, he inbounds it. Ochai Agbaji inbounds it to Gary. and he sees that the pass is going to be intercepted. Like, everybody can see it. Gary's got his back turned. It's not even looking. Everybody knows that the pass is about to be intercepted, including Apache. And so he screams, "Watch out!" And I can't remember who took it, but someone from the Orlando Magic just grabbed it. The easiest interception you'll ever see in your entire life. Goes in for the layup. And I was like, I went immediately to check because I've been disappointed in the past with the stats. I'm a big stats guy only because that's how I became the backup point guard, is because I became friends with the stats guy. And I made sure that the other guy I was fighting for a position for, and who was named Nelson and was about 80 pounds heavier and 8 inches taller. But he turned the ball over like a fucking maniac. Like, he liked turning the ball over. And so every time he had a turnover, I'd be like, Jared, the stats guy, Jared. Great stats guy name. Just a fucking tall, awkward, lanky white guy named Jared. Jared, you're 6'4" and you can't get minutes on a team where like no one is over. It's like grade 8 or something. This is a grade 8 year against Nelson. Great name for like a bully type guy. He was a fucking. He wore like a Ladainian Tomlinson jersey. You know, remember the teal jersey? He was like fingering girls in hot tubs. He was being like, "Fuck you," and like I'm this like little. I got a Jimi Hendrix shirt on. I got my bleach blonde hair. But fuck, did he turn the ball over? So I got minutes, pretty much based on that. I had a better shot too, to be honest, quite a bit better. But yeah, Nelson's fucking sucked, man. He was a handful. Not a fan. He was in my French class. Vegan grass. Back to deleting all his messages in the chat. But yeah, that's any last words. Trash clips. Nwora had a good game. That means Darko's going to put him in purgatory. I mean, that's not a bad point. There's been a couple of games where Nwora has gone from 17 points to DMP, but I don't know, like this team, for some reason I was more disgusted with this team than any team I've watched this year, just with the context of where they are in the year, who they have, what their situation is, what the Raptors are dealing with, what they have. It's just, I couldn't have been more just sick to my fucking stomach. It was truly horrible. So I think, like, in the frame of your comment, I think if Nwora does go from 14 points and plus 11 to being a DMP, it sucks, but I don't think it hits as hard as the other games because I just think they were just, it just wasn't even like I don't know if you can measure anything from this. Like, I don't know if Jamal Mosley is going to be bringing this into the Brazilian jiu-jitsu routine somehow or something, but like, I don't know, man. These guys, you got the playoffs coming up. I mean, March Madness is around the corner. The playoffs are fucking here, man. And you got your guy going 5 for 15. Like, this is, I mean, he's outscoring Jordan Nwora by 3 points. And by the way, Paolo Banchero, 36 minutes to get those 17 points. Jordan Nwora, 16 minutes to get those 14 points. So yeah, who are you taking? Jordan Nwora or Paolo Banchero? I mean, if you're an alien and you watch this game, and I mean, every player has off games, but I just feel like with him, there's been a few, and I go out of my way to want to like him only because he's from Seattle, only because he's from the only basketball mecca within a 10,000 mile radius of my house. He has a fucking tattoo of a mountain I can see, but it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to hang with these Penguins. I'm the point guard out of these fucking guys as well. I gotta lead them all around. These guys are all idiots without proper direction. This guy behind me, this guy right here is a real piece of work. He looks nice on camera, but the second he's behaving himself for the post game show. But the second this thing comes off, he's losing his fucking mind. But yeah, Raptors lose by 10. Lose by 10. That's 3 points for each starter that they're down, I guess. 3.333 points. Some guy in India memorized 70,000 characters of pi. And it's like, isn't 3.14 good enough? I don't know, man.